All right, back at it again. I've been thinking about today what to talk about and came to the realization that I think it's going to be good to, over these next few videos, get out some of the, not negative, but the struggles that have led up to this point. I'll share good things though, too. I think by getting out a lot of the struggles, we'll free up space to focus more, to focus the videos in the future that I do, to focus on what I'm thinking about in that moment, that day, instead of having to continually backtrack. So, with that said, start with some positive things. Had a good conversation today with a couple people. A friend of mine that we have a little mastermind group, I guess, once a week. Just have a good baseline catching up, hold each other accountable on some things. So that was good. I called my priest at my Orthodox Church, and we had a discussion about me becoming catechumen 2 Sundays from now. And he sent me some prayers, so I'm excited about that. So, well, here's a random thing today. In this moment in my life, sloth and apathy are definitely not something I have mastered, I guess would be a way to put it. I'm struggling with sloth and apathy. And something that has been happening to me, it's very odd. Something that has been happening to me is I'll sit in silence, almost like just taking a break. Unfortunately, sometimes it turns into a nap, which is not the intention, but I've found that in this season of my life, I cannot just sit in silence and I can't just sit in silence and try to almost meditate, if you will. And the reason why is because negative thoughts just take over. And there's an absolute just negative death spiral of just a thought tornado. And it is wild. It is absolutely wild. Now, silence while doing something, anything, has been very therapeutic. Turning off music, and the music I listen to is not even music. It is instrumental or Gregorian chant, Byzantine chant, chanting psalms, prayers, handpan music, focus, instrumental. So just regular secular music is hard for me to deal with anymore. But even that, just trying to fill in the dead time with some noise is just not what I need right now. A few months ago was very, very beneficial. And right now, it makes the time go by fast, which is not what I want. If you see me keep looking over, it's my dog. She's panting and licking and panting and licking and being a turkey. So that was kind of the, I guess, positive version, if you will. Telling my story of how I got here. Again, it's going to take a while. And I think it's best to go backwards in time with kind of the most recent thing. So I recently was employed at, October, November, December. And wow, what a disaster. Keep in mind, before that, I went over 2 years of being unemployed. Originally, intentionally. I was married, finances were good. I quit my job, dead-end job, where I made good money, $70,000 a year, like less than 40 hours a week, if we're being honest, and went back to school full-time to be an electrical engineer. And good news, this week I'm officially back in school. But got married, quit school. She immediately turned out to be a demon in disguise, or at least her borderline personality disorder that she disguised from me. That'll be a whole nother video. But I want to talk about this job that I recently had. I mean, so my buddy hired me, and if you're watching, he called me out of the blue and asked if I wanted to work for him. And if you're watching this by any chance in the future, you probably want to turn off now. Or don't. Up to you. My buddy calls me, asks me what I'm doing. He knows my situation a little bit. He knows my skills. I have a lot of experience in a lot of things. I am definitely a jack of all trades, which, if you're listening to this, I consider a curse. I am competent in doing just about anything, but I don't have a single specialty, and it's hard to find employment when that's the case. So he and I talk, and the conversation is along the lines of, hey, I've got all these businesses. Why don't you come work a little bit here, a little bit there? I'd love for you to do videography and marketing, and there's so many other things I literally have experience. There's multiple restaurants. There is a warehouse company. There's marketing company. There's real estate companies, construction company, a couple other things that I can't recall probably. And I literally have experience in all of these things, and I am competent in all of them. And pay and all those things wasn't really discussed. It was a, hey, just let me fit in. We don't have to worry about pay. It needs to be reasonable, but at the beginning of the year, like, let's discuss a real salary, right? Keep in mind, I've been unemployed for so long that it's like, dude, I just want to work just to escape the embarrassment of unemployment. I don't even care if I have money in the bank. I'm just embarrassed of being unemployed. I'm tired of redoing resumes and submitting applications and getting rejection letters and just going the same daily routine, which is a whole nother conversation. Yeah, that's crazy. The job market, like, you can't just like walk in to places. Like when I was younger, I mean, there's no applying online. You just walk in, shake someone's hand a resume, and either sit down then or in a couple days or something. And now you're competing with an AI filter for corporations where they're getting 100 resumes, and the AI filters it out and sends them an ATS tracker is what it's called. I've had to learn all these things because I was getting conspiratorial as to why I wasn't getting any responses from my applications. Anyway, to get back on track, I started working for this corporation that is a combination. It's a compilation of a bunch of small companies. And I started off working in the restaurants. And I have a lot of restaurant experience. I've worked in a dozen plus restaurants in the past, from small to big, fine dining, casual, management, table, waiting tables, bartending, hosts, kitchen, expo. And I mean to tell you that these restaurants, 3 of them directly I worked in, were the worst run. If you even want to say they were run, they were open. It was such, like, it's hard for me to even know where to start. It's wild. I mean, the first restaurant I go to, which is by far the best run one, because it's a food truck, there's only so much you can do. The cleanliness was like an utter shock to me. The storage was a nightmare. Bags of raw chicken sitting on cooked food, and I am just a floor cleaner being used as sanitizer for cutting boards and knives, and no running water. So floor cleaner got used to clean everything. I thought that was crazy. This was the best run one by far, and it's not even close. And mind you, the whole idea is like, I'm gonna be like, trying to do executive level work here, and just want to get my, work in the trenches for a little bit, get to know people, get to see how things are operating. And it's just like, and then beginning of the new year, we'll talk about a real salary, real job description, all the things. So I go to the next restaurant, and within an hour, of being there for the first time, I'm putting out a grease fire with a fire extinguisher because the place is so filthy and there is a raging fire. Then, a couple hours later, the kitchen manager is passing around a pan of raw shrimp, getting everyone's opinion on a smell test to decide whether to serve this to people or not. And I am just blown away. This is when I realized that there is not a single date or label or anything on a single food item in this restaurant. And it's a big, full-scale dine-in restaurant. There is just wing it. Just, it's wild. Disgusting. Not to mention the quality of the food and the ripoff. It's just like, I honestly could go on for half an hour just about how I've never worked anywhere like this. Like, just so don't care. And this place is still operational. The reason it stays in business is because the location. It's basically, without getting into too much detail, it's like forced clientele. They bunch of people there and they only have one option, so this is what they get. But like front to back, top to bottom, left to right, everything is wrong. And it is like such a nightmare. Anyway, the people are great. The people are great that actually work there. Then the other restaurant, a pizza place. It is like someone said, I'm going to open up a pizza shop, and had 2 weeks to put it together. And then after the first day said, it's good enough. We'll just stop there. To give you an idea, the first day I'm there, there's a 3-compartment sink for doing the dishes. And it's full of dirty dishes. And like, this place is in the red. It's not selling any pizzas. And I'm like, why is there dirty dishes? It's not even busy. So I was like, you know what? This place is filthy and it's disgusting. And by disgusting, it's disgusting. It's wild. So me and 2 other employees, I'm like, hey, I'll clean if y'all clean. So we start cleaning, and I clean a couple dishes, and then I realize, where do you set the dishes to dry? And there's a tiny little shelf above, but after like the 3rd or 4th dish, pan, whatever, it's like, where do you put all this? That's when I found out that this restaurant doesn't have shelving. There's not shelving. Let alone, like, there's not shelving. It's wild. Like, what do you mean there's not shelving? Fast forward, I built and made some shelving because there wasn't money to be spent on this place because it was in the red. Anyway, dude, I hadn't even scratched the surface of any of these places. Hadn't even scratched the surface. So, wrapping up, I am doing like high level the robotics company, which I made like a whole documentary for, like high level 4K audio, the lighting, the audio cut, the promo clips. I mean, I did so much. I did everything. The sales copy, the landing page. I did everything. It's crazy. I did everything. I did that. I did so much marketing. Marketing for what was supposed to be a dessert company and ended up being a holiday dessert thing within the main restaurant. Um, I, I mean, there's just so much nonsense. So much nonsense. I could talk so poorly about so many people and so many things. And it was just an absolute disaster. I felt like the only professional amidst all of these, let's just say, members of leadership within this corporation. And it was like, I've never experienced such disorganized, unprofessional everything. So, wrapping up, my friend, who I still consider my friend if you're watching, I mean, regardless, I consider you my friend. This was just bad business, separate issue. He is paying consultants, which kind of confuses me because, like, I'm kind of thinking like I'm kind of a consultant because I literally have experience in everything and I have so much input, but everyone's too busy to have a conversation to address anything because just everyone's too busy because everything's unorganized and there's no systems and everything's just a priority and everything's chaos. So come to find out they're paying a consultant. Okay, whatever. And the consultants realize, hey, how are you paying me? Come to find out, to learn, you aren't paying me. And the only way I had been getting paid is working line cook shifts for at most $15 an hour. And over a span of, a couple months or so, I had only averaged a hair, like before taxes, just a hair over $200 a week, poverty level, right? But mind you, I'm working like 50 hours a week. Easily. Because it's like you don't see, I'm staying up designing stuff. I'm talking to vendors. I'm reaching out to people. I am designing this. I'm building that. I'm setting up the video here. I'm doing social media for multiple companies. Again, no organization, no clear, obnoxious meetings with the other owner who is just a disaster. Long story short, 5 years ago, I worked for him for 2 weeks and quit because he is just such a terrible person. And I thought this time would be different, and it wasn't. So my friend, to backtrack, my friend finds out that I haven't been paid like his whole time for anything I've done. And all this work, this managerial, marketing, just high level executive stuff, honestly, that I'm doing, but it's fine. And he apologizes and he says, hey, call the other guy, the one that I had already quit working for 5 years ago. Call him, just let him know, hey, you haven't been paid. Agreed. And all I had wanted was $400 a week. This is full time. $400 a week for the rest of the year. And then at the beginning of the year, talk about a real salary and kind of a specific lane to stay in, if you will, because I'm doing a little bit of everything. So I reach out to the other guy. It's Monday. Doesn't finally have a conversation with me until Wednesday after 6 o'clock, which, dude, like, Another problem with this place is it was just all hours were working hours, all days were working days. There was no break. It's just all the company's communication is run off of miscellaneous spreadsheets and Facebook Messenger. An absolute just constant chaos. Anyway, finally gets a hold of me Wednesday. I say, hey, now it's not the best time. You caught me in the middle of something, but I have like 2 minutes. Well, this conversation was basically the end of everything. He got super emotional, told me that I would need to have to live with making $400 a month, a week, $400 a week through March, which would be end of December, January, February, March. So let's just say easily another 3 months, and it's already been over 2 months of me making $200 a week. So I mean, again, we're talking me doing real quality leadership work for poverty level. I told him that I couldn't do that for that much money, that I couldn't live off of it. His response is, well, that's a you problem. You need to figure that out. And I'm like, look, man, I'm not being the jerk here. I'm literally calling you to tell you what your other business partner is just, he should have just reached out to you and not told me to do it, for one, so that we don't even have this conversation. You just get it done, because I was being more than generous, and then was gaslighted into thinking I was being greedy for asking for $400 a week for full-time, for high-level work. I think not. And then, oh my gosh, this person is just the epitome of a bully and worships money. That's at least my observation. And it was such a crazy experience. And I hadn't even scratched the surface, but that is the gist of it. And before I started working for these guys, I was, unemployed and broke, but spiritually in such a wonderful place. And such a wonderful place. And then working for these guys just sucked all of that out of me and took over. And just the constant theme of you can't serve two masters constantly was in my soul, in my heart, my mind. And I could keep going. Maybe in the future I'll share more, but I honestly hadn't even scratched the surface. There's so much shady stuff going on. I'm just gonna, not legal stuff, crazy, crazy. Not just health stuff in the restaurants, but straight up not legal. And it's I'm so far gone. I'm so running away from all of this. And since then, focus back my mind, my time in the church, around good people. I've had time to think about what I'm going to do. And I'm going back to what was I doing before my now ex-wife pulled a gun on me? I was going to school full-time. I'm currently can't afford full-time, but I'm back in school. And what have I done to make money the majority of my adult life? Service industry. So that's what I'm going to do. Lord willing, I'll be applying to somewhere tomorrow. If not, because there's some things that might prevent me. But worst case scenario, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Friday's not the best day to apply at restaurants. But yeah, I think that does it for today. Day 2 of 75 hard done, amongst other things. I'll show more on the list another time. 75 hard plus stuff. So, till tomorrow. Bye.